and then over 5 and 6 talk about issues around equity. And then the context then are sort of spread out a little on the course. Immediately after the first set of lectures, we'll move on to talk about the macroeconomic context and the welfare state context for social policy development and that interaction between economics and social policy. And at the very tail end of the course, I'll come back to some of the context in terms of taxation and social policy and the way in which our states tend to pay for the areas of social services and social provision that we're talking about, and that economic context of social policy making, which brings in some of those international issues that I mentioned too. And then in the middle of the course are the applications, where we walk through particular applications. Gave a list earlier: healthcare, education, over 2 lectures, poverty, inequality, and income maintenance, housing, pension, and transport as key social areas and key areas where we make lots of decisions. And I want to sort of put the economic perspectives that we're talking about here next to what we do in those sectors. And when I say what we do in those sectors, there are different ways of doing it. So we'll talk not just about the experience in a country like Ireland. I mentioned that because it's quite visible. But there are different ways of doing healthcare or education or housing in different countries and in different places, which really map on to different attitudes, which we'll talk about earlier in the concept section of the course, and you'll see those appear as we go through.
What about the implications of Brexit now on our economy?
And along the way, I'll talk about Brexit. So Michelle Norris and I have written a report on that, which will appear over the next while. So I'll give it to you brief. But I suppose, actually, in fairness, I suppose that changes this last bit here on the economic context of it. If you, in the case of Britain, if you are part of a club and you're no longer part of a club, or in the case of Ireland, if your big neighbour is part of a club and no longer is, that might change some of the context, which we can pick up on later. Then I'll give you some key dates. I'll come back to the course outline in a second. These are all on the course outline, so you don't need to scribble them down, but let me flag them anyway. There is no lecture on Thursday, the 18th of October. Various reasons can't be here. Thought about inflicting somebody else upon you, and I decided actually from 9 to 10 on Thursday morning you might prefer to have a cup of coffee or something like that. So that's the reason there. There is a course assignment, which I'll come back to talk about in a second, and it's due on Friday the 16th of November at 3 p.m. Seems like a long, long time away, I accept. I sort of deliberately located that assignment so that it isn't falling on top of all the other assignments which tend to appear mid-semester, if I can put it that way. You can submit it any time you wish, but that's sort of the deadline that's there. Scream at me, who said it? Yeah, so it's there for the 16th of November. We'll come back to talk about it in a minute. So in a sense, it's not a mid-semester assignment, it's a quarter assignment. There are no lectures during Montessori's Reading Week, so those are 30th of October, 1st November, either side of Halloween. The final lecture will be on Tuesday the 27th of November. In other words, I will not deliver a lecture on the very last Thursday of the academic year, mainly because I found nobody comes if you schedule these lectures just before the exams are about to kick off and so on. So we'll do it there. I have a proviso on that, which is I'm going to hold as a spare lecture that last Thursday, which is the 29th of November. Last year a hurricane hit during this course, if you remember that. So you can't quite predict what's ahead. So if we are in trouble and we lose things along the way, that slot is there, but I will plan hopefully not to use it. And in a sense that's why I'm keeping it spare really. And then there's a final exam on this course, which is in December, and I'll come and talk about the exam. Okay, that's to flag all of those so you can see them. The course resources then for this course, well, there's a course outline first, which is up on Blackboard. That's got all the details in terms, 4-page document has got all the details in terms of learning outcomes for the course, the assessment, which I'll talk about in a second, the textbook, the lecture schedule, and then a list of the readings for the course as well. So it's a document like this, and that's up on the Blackboard site for you to really the core document for the course. So look at it and read it because it's important, and all the information is there. And the lectures themselves as a resource too, and I will put the lectures and everything else up on the Blackboard site for you to access. So the course outline and schedule is already there. Almost all the readings for the course that aren't textbooks are on Blackboard already for you, so you can see them and access them and download them. I'll put the lecture slides up on Blackboard as well for you, so you can access them too. And then any other information or relevant material we get along the way, I'll put up there as well. So they'll all be accessible for you. There are 2 textbooks to mention for this course. I suppose the first one is really the textbook for this course, and then the second one is sort of an add-on. So the nice textbook called The Economics of Social Problems from the Grant, Popper and Smith, which I would sort of regard as the textbook for this course. And it looks like that with the clouds and pictures there. Then there is another book called The Economics of the Welfare State from Nicholas Barr, which is the other one I mentioned too. A bit more technical as a book, and I am generally referring to, it actually has a nice set of what it describes as non-technical appendices, and where I'm referencing them principally to that as well. So I'll say this is the main textbook for the course, and then I'll be dipping into bits of that book as well. Books in the library, books in the bookshop. I would arrange with Owen in the school office to make photocopies of the books available to you over the next couple of weeks, so you can take a copy of the relevant chapter. You can borrow it from him, take a copy, and return it. He'll have a sign in, sign out mechanism. I'll come back and update you on that when he has it up and running, so you can access it. Another material. Well, if there are readings, in fact, I think I've suggested most of the readings already, and most of them are on Blackboard for you already. But if there are others, I'll mention them as we go along the way, and they'll appear at the tail end of the lecture slides even. Another useful source to mention as well, The Economist magazine. Probably not expecting you're all going to race out and take out a subscription. Well, I saw recently you could get it for €12 or something. But you're probably not going to. But actually, rather nice magazine. It's a bit like this course. It has a problem, which is that word economist or economics at the very start of it. But actually, if you look at it past, or for most people, if you look past that, you'll find that it engages fairly majorly in sort of societal issues and the challenges and topics that we talk about.
Yeah, I think it's like that Time magazine with maybe a little bit more global.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's got a much broader perspective than say Time would have a much more American focus.
Very similar kind of like reports and journalism.
And it covers topics pretty well, and it comes from a particular angle at times as well. But I would regard it very highly as a piece of work. It also has a very nice audio version that helps. You don't even have to read it, and they give you a free download every week of sort of the main issues that are going on the bus or in trains or whatever the case is. You can listen to them. And then there's another book which I'll dip in and out of as well, and the relevant chapters I have on Blackboard for you already, which is a book called The Economy of Ireland. That's exactly what it says. It's a book about the Irish economy, but it isn't just the Irish economy. It picks up on societal issues as well. It looks very well at issues like education or health and so on, and I'll come back to pick up on those. You'll see it appear on the reading list as we go through. Certainly leaving this course, I want you to be very comfortable, to be able to understand where they're going in books like that, or in magazines like The Economist, or elsewhere where people are, shall I say, articulating sensible views and perspective on the territory that we'll cover on the economics and social policy. You don't have to agree with them, but at least be able to understand and engage with them, and that's what we'll do. Okay, the misery. More misery, perhaps. But the misery for the course in terms of assessment. So firstly, there's a course assignment, which is the order of about 2,000. It's the order of about 2,000 words. It's in fact it'll be between 1,500 and 2,000 words. So I'll give you a bit of breath on it. There are a number of choices. It can be an essay. It can be a book review, and I've picked some books that are interesting to read. You might want to read that and write a review of the book. And a few other sort of variations of an assignment that are there for you as well. That carries 40% of the final grade. I will distribute it to you on the 27th of September, so in a few weeks' time, and I'll put it up on Blackboard, but I'll talk to you about it when I do that. And then it's due on Friday, the 16th of November at 3 p.m. I'm going to say this, although personally in my life I completely ignore it, which is that you don't have to run right up against the deadline. You can submit well in advance of the deadline if you feel free, so you don't have to run all the way up to there. You can put it in October or early November if you wish. I know that, but I've never done it my whole life. But anyway, I know you can. But you may, and I'm conscious that you're prioritising certain things, and there are lots going on, and so that's why I'm telling you right at the start, so you can sort of find a slot and put it into it for that as well. And you'll have all the details of that, and in a sense, you'll have enough ground covered by the 27th of September for you to be in a position where you can begin to think about that. And then at the very end of the semester, the exam for this course is a 25 multiple choice question exam, which carries the other 60% of the final grade. So the data that will be provided when the exam office set them in December. I will come back and talk to you about that as we go along. I'll give you some examples of multiple choice questions so you can see what they look like, the sort of nature of questions like that when they appear. I don't know, I think people sort of say, oh, I don't like multiple choice exams or whatever the case is, but they're I think a very fair way of sweeping right across the course and picking up the issues and concepts that we get. It'll be a very fair exam, I can promise you that. Yeah.
Is the MCQs negative marking?
No, so there are no negative marking. So they either have 4, and I'll come back and talk more about that when we get to it. So there are either have 4 or 5 options as the answer to a question, and then you choose which one you think is correct. What that means, of course, is if you haven't got the faintest idea of which one is correct, you may as well pick one anyway, because you've got a 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 chance of getting it right. But I'll come back to that later. Negative marking seems mean, although I know it's widespread. Other issues, people always ask me, so I'll put it in. Micheál, not Michael. I haven't been shot yet. What's going to happen, I'm sure. My office hours Tuesday, 11:30 to 12:30, or by appointment. So those hours don't work. That or doesn't work. Hardly works for you. Please let me know, and I'll find time over in the Hennessy Skeffington building, or you can email me as well, and I'll have to interact. I'll be honest. If you email me and I don't reply within a day, feel free. I will not be offended by you emailing me again to say, why didn't you reply to my previous email, just in case it slips down the list or whatever the case is. But I'll do my best to reply as promptly as I can. And apart from that, we're up and running, and I'll see you on Thursday morning back here.
Thank you.